I'm Erica Collins, and you're watching 5 Minutes. We're here today with Lucy Greenman, an avid nonfiction reader and renowned book critic. Thanks for joining me, Lucy.
Thanks for having me.
Most recently, you've read and reviewed Erik Larson's The Devil in the White City, a nonfiction book which tells of the intertwining lives of Daniel H. Burnham, an architect, and Henry Howard Holmes, a murderer, at the 1893 World's Columbian Exposition in Chicago. From what I understand, the primary feature of this book is its intense level of detail and dedication to factual accuracy, Larson's trademark. Was that noticeable for a reader?
It was, yes. The intricacies in every scene really made them come alive, and as a reader, I found myself in awe of all the effort that Larson must have put into the research alone.
He did travel across the country seeking information and insight about his characters. Isha in Chicago can tell us more about that.
Thanks, Erica. I'm here at the site of Holmes' Murder Castle, a hotel where he seduced young women and killed them brutally. Erik Larson visited this location and many others in Chicago in order to explore his characters in more depth. During the course of his research, Larson also looked at primary sources such as newspaper articles, personal letters, and even postcards. In writing The Devil in the White City, Larson never made use of any assistance, instead finding all his information by himself. This ensured quality and correctness of the historical facts he presented in his book. Back to you, Erica.
Thank you, Isha. Lucy, I can imagine that unbiased research of such depth could impact a story in many ways. Did you feel that it added something to the plot, or did it feel unnecessary?
While the multitude of facts and figures did make me admire Larson's dedication to his craft, they did also tend to become dense and occasionally detracted from the storyline. For example, on pages 4 and 5, Larson writes, "Its gatekeepers recorded 27.5 million visits. The country's total population was 6.5 million, and on its best day, the fair drew more than 700,000 visitors."
So you were bored while reading?
No, not at all. When the architectural details lacked intrigue, I simply allowed my mind to wander back to the murderer, Holmes, and wonder what would become of both him and his future victims. In creating suspense which pervades both plot lines, Larson makes sure not to lose even the most easily distracted reader.
Interesting. Isha, do we have any background on that?
Yes, we do, Erica. Larson began his career as a journalist and worked for the Wall Street Journal. When your job depends on it, you learn how to captivate readers.
Thanks for that perspective, Isha. So, Lucy, the parts on Burnham could be dreary, but the sections on Holmes were exciting. Is that enough to make the book worth reading?
Absolutely. Burnham does drag on from time to time, but the fair itself is filled with light and life. On pages 306 and 307, Larson writes that the Ferris wheel became a vector for love, the favorite hour to ride being the golden time between 5 and 6 in the evening. Such beautiful imagery helped to smooth over the coarse, factual statements about Burnham. And Holmes, of course, is captivating, but readers beware. If you can't stomach the gory details, you'd better steer clear. In my personal experience, I was actually disgusted enough by Holmes to consider quitting the book halfway through. For example, on page 295, Holmes imagined Anna crumpled in a corner. He could rush to the door, give her a big smile, just to let her know this was no accident. While committing her murder, obviously. In moments like these, it was the promise of the fair's success that kept me engaged, not the suspense of the murders. The two plot lines balance each other out in this way. Paradoxically, Burnham's and Holmes's differences are what allow them to fit so well together. All in all, I recommend it.
Thanks for your insight, Lucy. Maybe I'll read it myself. Until next time, I'm Erica Collins, and this is 5 Minutes. And now a word from our sponsor.
Chappelle's Articulation Services.
Want to keep a dead loved one with you, but can't stand the smell of rotting flesh?
Or maybe you just have a dead body lying around and want to make cash quick.
Just call Chappelle's Articulation Services.
For just a small fee, Charles Chappelle can turn this into this.
Just look at our many happy customers.
You provide the corpse, we'll provide the bones.
Just call 1-800-CADAVER today. That's CADAVER, cadaver.
Chappelle Articulation Services does not condone murder, but if by some circumstance you find yourself in possession of a corpse, we won't ask any questions. Just saying.